Second measure, or second output I want to know the max and minimum distances for the handrails. So again, I'm only focusing on these two sections over here and over here. You could use a feature measure, but sometimes that takes a little more time to run, and I want to show you guys how to, optimize your model using some engineering judgment and best practices. So instead of using the feature measure in this case, I'm going to go ahead and say it's most likely that my maximum and minimum are going to show up at the top here or at the bottom here. Again, possible with some strange straightness tolerance on this tubes that it ends up in the middle here. I don't find that to be a very likely scenario, so I think you're exercising good judgment if you just do this and check the two ends.
Yeah, so basically now, he's getting to a measurement that may not be used, but is very powerful. This 2-point list measurement can allow you to combine multiple point-to-point measures and get the min or the max, pairs, or any combination.
Yes, so first we're going to use a combination measure, though, to utilize the first two measures that we used. That's okay, Gary.
So there you go. I wasn't even following the script.
So first we're going to use the combination measure. And what the combination measure can do is it utilizes other measures that you have in your model and can perform some simple mathematical operation on those measures. So when I look at the combination measure, I have a list of measured inputs. So I need these other measures to be in the model. So for example, in my model, I already have handrail width front and handrail width rear as measures in my list. So I just added those to the measure list for this combination measure. And then I also need to measure mode. And so that's going to be that mathematical operator I was telling you guys about. You can use a min-max check, which we're going to use here. You can also use addition or subtraction, just some simple mathematical operators. If just using a point distance measure or some other measure isn't quite getting you to the result you want, you can, add this measure on top of 2, 3, 4, however many other measures you want to get you closer to that answer you're looking for. And so if I go back to my 3DCS model, I actually have two of these measures. And the first combination measure I've called min handrail width. And if I open that one up, we'll see that I just have my two measures on my measure list here, and then I have my measure mode down here. It's as simple as that. And just like with the previous one, this is a live measure, so if I go ahead and I deviate and click current over and over again, all it's doing is it's returning to me the minimum value between all of the measures that I have in my measure list. In this case, I only have two measures on my measure list, but it's going to return to me the minimum value each time. And then I also have my other one that's called max. And adding these to the list, there are two different ways. I'll go ahead and delete these. So the two different ways, there's this drop down called adding list, which shows all the other measures that I have in my model. And if I select one of these here, it's going to add it to my measure list on the left here. Or you can click this pick from tree button, and then you can just go over to your tree and just select whichever measure you want. So now I also, like I said, have a maximum one. So I click the maximum one, this number down here, instead of returning me the minimum value, now returning me the maximum value. It should just be the higher of the two values that I have over here.
So can you hit the arrow and show the settings for min, max? What else is in
there?
there?
Absolutely.
What else is in there?
So in the measure mode section, like I said, we've only done min, max here. You also have add, which you'll just add your entire list together. Subtract, which actually subtracts everything from the first one you select, so you can have as many measures as you want here. Yeah, and it's not going to switch signs on you at all. It's going to subtract everything from measure 1 in your list. So if you have 5 measures here, it'll be measure 1, -2, -3, -4, -5.
Very good to know.
Then you have max, min, and then you also have in spec. And so each of these measures has some spec values. And what inspect is going to do is going to return to you how many of those measures for that specific build are coming back within their spec limits. So it's going to be an integer value. So if I click inspect and click current, I should see, should see 2 show up here. The current value doesn't seem to work every time.
That's probably correct. Have to investigate that.
Yeah, when using the inspect mode, it doesn't seem to always pick it up.
Can you deviate it?
Let's try deviating and hit current a few times. Yeah, it seems to think they're always one of them's out of spec, even though neither of them were close to that ±1 range that I had set.
Okay, so
But if you were to actually run your analysis, this inspect mode does work completely fine. It just happens that this current button has some limitation to it that we need to look into. So.
yeah, okay. Sorry I took you down that road.
That's all right. It's a neat tool to know about.
Right.